of Christ, and today we're going to be talking about laying up treasures in heaven. So that's found in Matthew 6, verses 19 through 21. And so I'll go ahead and read those verses. You can follow along with me if you like. So Matthew 6, 19 through 21. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and dust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So just a little breakdown here to throw out a little of my Greek class. Treasures is actually, it's the word in Greek is thesauros, and that means deposit. And I thought that was kind of interesting, that term deposit, in referring to treasures on earth. It can also be meaning the place in which good and precious things are collected or laid up, things that are laid up in a treasury and collected. These are things you put in a storehouse, in a repository. So the question is, where is our treasure? As we flip through the television channels, we should be overwhelmed to see how secularism is influencing our culture today, particularly through advertising. Dr. Sproul once said, he described secularism as that which looks at reality in every human activity and understands it in light of and judged by the value of or norm of the present time. To be secular means to be worldly, earthly, and temporal. And we've discovered a reoccurring theme behind secularism. Your quality of life now is what matters most, because you may not be here tomorrow. I mean, we see this in all these you go to Lifeway bookstores and you'll see all these self-help books that are basically trying to build up having your best life now. So this is obviously a conflicts with what Christianity teaches, and that Christians have an eternal purpose for their lives. And we often use those terms like being eternally minded. Secularism is sprinkled throughout advertising campaigns with questions like, why wait when you can get it now? Take a minute and think about the central themes of various commercials on television. You owe it to yourself, or you deserve the best. Is heard throughout many product and service and self-help medication and cosmetic advertisements. It can absorb almost an entire home improvement or self-improvement show. How did we ever live without stainless steel appliances and granite countertops, or all those procedures and pills that improve our looks and lifestyles? Secularism as a way of life is rapidly replacing Christianity. Every aspect of our culture is already feeling the impact of secularism. You are looked down upon in America if you are not living up to today's standards of living. We do whatever it takes, whatever the price, to keep up with our neighbors. To overcome and make a difference in this world, Christians need constant reminders of how life in the here and now has eternal significance. And we must soak up ourselves in the truths of God's word. And we must lay up treasures in heaven through using the gifts, money, talents the Lord has given us to serve his purpose, not our fleshly desires. So the question I'll just leave you with, and also something for me to think about, is where are we storing up our treasures? We talk about this often in the church about our using our spiritual gifts and using our how are we living, and what is our priorities, and are we glorifying God in all that we do? And so we should be thinking about this and meditating. Where are you laying up your treasures? And where you're laying up your treasures is actually where your heart is. And so we need to check our heart. So that's 50 Commands of Christ. Lay up your treasures in heaven.